Alright, so how's our audio? Excellent. Hey there, Majestic Llama. How are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're going to tie some flies, bud. So not so much fishing rigs, but just fly time. Oh. Just let me check that we've got everything going and we'll start. How's your day or night going, mate? Are you well? Thanks to the 6 viewers that are in here watching. Please don't forget to leave a like. Okay, let's just see what we've got here. Okay, that's really interesting. Great. Hey, Loey, how are you, bud? Thanks very much for coming in, Loey. Good to see you as always. All right, so we've got a really stable picture. Oh, Loey, thanks, bud. Thanks for your support, mate. You give up so much time modding. I really appreciate it, mate. Hey there, Subtract. How are you, bud? Yeah, good, mate. I was going to give you a call today. I'll give you a call during the week. Hope you're well, and I hope your new occupation is giving you a new lease of life. Now, let me just go and check that the Discord's working. Now, we've got a big stream next week, people. We're going up north, and I'm taking Loey with me. And we've got a week up north. We're not letting everyone know where we're going yet. Johnny L, how are you, bud? Is that the new Australian flag, bud? Yes. Charlie, how are you, bud? Congratulations on the treble, mate. Remember, you did it 50 years after Liverpool, bud, but well deserved, okay? All right, so there we go. All right, now what I've got to do is just make sure that I can read chat. We're just doing this stream in preparation for next week, people. We've got a big week of streaming. We're leaving here Saturday morning, 4 a.m., okay? Oh, off to the parade today. Okay. No drinking at your age, Charlie. You don't know where you can end up. All right, people. So, welcome. Let me just get this set up now. I think we can actually officially call ourselves a professional stream now because we've got all the technology. So, oops. Now YouTube. That's the studio. YouTube. Live. Thank you very much. 9 people watching. Okay, now is the audio in sync? Let's have a look. Live. Thank you very much. Wow, even the audio is in sync. We certainly are, Charlie. We are travelling 1,000 kilometres to go fishing and provide content for the community. So, okay. Now, what we're going to do tonight is, this is an Atlas Vice by Wolf, Indiana. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to zoom right in on the Vice. Now, where are we going? Right, we're going to be doing a bit of saltwater fly fishing out of the kayak. I've actually figured out how to put the Starlink on the kayak. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom into here and I'm going to show you how we construct flies. Yeah, Majestic Llama. Something like that, subtract. I haven't been out Majestic Llama. I want to go out Wednesday, but where we're going, mate, there's plenty of those. So, yeah, we're going to be doing everything. We're going to be doing soft plastic fishing, all sorts of stuff, mate. And we'll be doing solid, I don't know, probably solid 12 to 15 hour streams a day. So, all good, mate. All right, so what we're going to do is the hooks that we use. Yes, Charlie, of course. Mate, we're taking everything. We're taking the kayak. We're taking the special camping fridge. We're going to take the generator, the Starlink, the laptop, the tablet, everything, mate. And what we're doing is we're starting our journey on YouTube. So basically, with what we're doing here, I don't like buying saltwater flies. I like tying my own saltwater flies, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some really simple flies that we tie. And what I'm going to do is these are going to be called blanks. So with the blanks, what they do is you just tie them up, right? So what I want to do, I want to tie about, I would say, 6 flies, right? I nearly did the execution from Shrek then. Pick number 3, pick number 3. And what I want to, both, Charlie. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a stream on Twitch, then YouTube, 2 different spots. Then we go to YouTube, and then we're going to go to Twitch after that. And we're just going to mix it up. So we want to start our live streaming on YouTube again. The last time we stopped live streaming on YouTube, we had, I think, about 1,100 subscribers. And now we're up to 3,888. So the time's right. We're hopefully going to hit 1 million views by the end of this year. Okay. Hopefully, if all goes well. And we've had a couple of our YouTube shorts that have been picked up by the algorithm or the YouTube computer, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, you know, things are going really well. We're just going to try and provide really good quality content. And there's never going to be any donation goals or anything like that. And, yeah, we just want to put the content out there, right? And we just want to just hopefully be able to do good enough content that we can, you know, edit and use for YouTube content. Now, we've got a lot of scientific content coming up where I'm actually going to have to shave and put on an Australis TV uniform, right? So that's going to start fairly soon. My main concern today was just to get the audio right, see how the picture is. The other thing is too, the picture on YouTube is so much better than Twitch. Yeah, unbelievable. So, just so crisp and clean and bright and everything, you know, in 1080p, really good. So what we should do is hopefully tie the flies in really good sort of like picture, and then that way we can work from there. So where we're going, right? Like most fishing spots, obviously there's going to be ocean, but in the kayak we're going to be fishing a river. More about that on Sunday. So set your clocks for 4 a.m. Western Australian time this weekend, between 4 and 5 a.m. We'll be live streaming the whole trip up there. We've got a few landmarks that we've identified for the way up that are going to be absolutely stunning streams, right? So please let everyone know. And yeah, it's all going to be good. Now, is the audio good? It's not peaking too much, right? And you never know. Hopefully, I mean, we're at 3,888 subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully we reach about 4,000 by the end of next week, okay? One can only hope, all right? So now what we're going to do is, and this is the beauty of YouTube, and okay, all right, that's good. Look how clear that picture is. This is off the charts. Look at that. Okay, so let's bring that in a little bit more. Beautiful. All right, people. So one thing I've learnt too, after making so... Thanks, Subtract. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to catch some saltwater species like... Yes, and the clickathon is going as well. So, oh, now, Loey, that's a really good question. Oh, well done, mate. And we also have our free giveaway too, people. So let's just get this right. I'll see if I can get it put onto here. I can't do commands yet, can I? Yeah, should be able to. All right, so what we've got here, okay, is this is a rotary vise. I saved up a long time for one of these, right? So basically what I can do is I can spin the hook on its axis, which saves a lot of time, okay? Now, what we want to do, we have some small potty mullet, diamond scale mullet, and just your ordinary estuary mullet in the river that we're going to be fishing, okay? Now these have yellow eyes with black pupils. Surprise, surprise. Boom, there we go. Right, that's exactly what they look like. So what we're going to be doing is, with this hook here, right, we're going to be basically tying this fly so that we make it snag proof. Now please don't forget to leave a like on the video too, everyone, as that's what YouTube seems to take most notice about, okay? So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to make a little bed for these eyes, right? What you want to do is, you just want to wind some thread and make a little lump like this, right? And then you want to just make another little lump like this. Okay, and then you want to just leave a little bit of a space in the middle, right, so you can nestle the dumbbell eyes in there. Okay, actually, Loey, I might do that in a second. I might just go to Stream Elements or Streamlabs and see if I can load the command into chat. Now, this is the bit where we cheat, right? Well, it's not really cheating. We're not going into competition. So there's a little bit of Loctite. Loctite fixes everything, people. This is the Loctite Power Flex, right? So what we're going to do now is, with the Loctite in the gel especially, right? We've used this on soft plastics and all sort of stuff. So you know it ends up being odorless. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do. Oh. Mate, I'm a happily married man now, Subtract. Okay, the horse is bolted on that, mate, and it took all my hair with it. And teeth, I think. Right, so this is what we have. We're just going to put the eyes down here. Now, this is not going to be the finished fly today, because what we're going to do is we're going to need to put the... we're just going to need to put the epoxy on this fly, but more about that later, okay? And what I'll do is I'll do another variation of it. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this in here. Right, we're going to tie that off. So what we've done is we've effectively tied in, right, the eyes. Now, they're perpendicular to the hook. Now, with eye placement, it's very important. I could put these eyes closer to the hook to give it more of a wiggle when you fish it with a loop, or I can put them right back to give it less of a wiggle, then I can put them in the midpoint here, bend that up, and I can make the fly look like it's feeding vertically in the water, okay? Oh, yeah. How about no fans? There you go. Right. Now, the product that I'm using here is head cement. Now, with head cement, this is homemade stuff, right? So we've saved a lot of money with this by making it at home. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unhook this, right? I'm going to bring this in here. I don't need to spin this around anymore. Just going to lock the jaws in there. Now, I've deliberately tied that at an angle, right? It makes it easier for me to tie the fly. Now, this is what we've got to do. First thing I want to do, right, is I want to give this fly a little bit of body, and I want to give this fly a little bit of buoyancy, right? So the way to do that, okay, this is carpet. This is carpet offcut. Absolutely perfect for fly tying. And the best thing about this is nothing has had to die to tie the fly, right? So what we're going to do is, right, we're just going to cut a length of that, boom, like that. Right, now when you tie your flies, you've got to dress your materials. Now, much like the natural, where it's attached to the main part of the hide, or in this case the berber, right? Boom, we put that in the middle there. What it'll do, it's got a lot more clumps of like fur and that sort of stuff. Let's bring that over. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that in there. That's about the right length for the head. It would do subtract. It would do. It'd be great for holding stuff for soldering and that sort of stuff, mate. So they're about $215 US. It was one of the cheapest vices I could find on the market. So what we've done here is we've just given this little, oops. Yeah, head cement and open cuts don't really go too well. So what we've done there now is we've just given that a little bit of body. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little bit more body, right? And what this does is it actually adds to the authenticity of the fly, and it looks a lot more like the natural. You've got two types of schools of thought on fly tying, right? So you've got the ones that like using natural materials, right? Natural materials are nowhere nearly as durable as artificially made materials, right? So anything that's artificially made or man-made, right, has better wear and tear and all the rest of it. It's just not as alive in the water. So what I want to do is, see this here where they taper, I want to have all the lengths the same there. So see how that's thinned out now? Right, this is how you thin out your feathers and that sort of stuff, and you also thin out your fur. Right, so there we go, lovely. We're going to give this just a little bit more body. What I want to do is, I'm just going to make this a little bit shorter. Not abbreviated, just shorter, you know what I'm saying? Right, so this is what we do here, like that. Okay, bring that down there. Okay, and what I've done here too, the other thing is too, with your saltwater fly, I took my eye off the fly there for literally a second. Okay, what you're trying to do, right, is you're trying to build the head to encourage water to flow over the fly while you're retrieving it through the water. Now, with all the flies that I tie, I always fish them with a loop, right? So let's just chuck that in there. Oh, mate, after tying flies, I've discovered stuff here that science hasn't discovered. Subtract. Now, this is super hair, right? Obviously not from my head, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, this is an artificial material, as is the other one. So what we've done here is that's going to give it a little bit of body underneath it. So the mullet that we're trying to copy, right, they have a pale underbelly. Now, see how I'm cutting this at an angle, right? How you cut the angle on this is the shape of the head that you form. So if I tied that, or if I cut that virtually straight up and down, right, it'd be like a block, and I wouldn't be able to tie it. So what I've done, because this is the third last thing that I'm going to tie on this fly, I only got the head to come down to here, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back in here like that, and I'm going to half hitch it. Whoops. And just get that to hold. Now I don't use half hitch tools when I tie flies because I like to work off the tension in the thread with my fingers, right? Beautiful. Yes, mate. As you can see with this white thread that I'm using, when you put head cement on it, it goes translucent and you literally see right through it. Now, we're going to try something a little bit different here. Right, what I want to do now is I want to put some of this crystal flash as the lateral line on this. It's got to be long enough to sit under there, which it is. Right, like so. Thanks to the 10 people that are watching, welcome. Don't forget to click on that like icon, right, if you like the content, so that lets YouTube know that we're doing good things. Right, bring that down here like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build this up between the eye and the base where I tied it. Right, there we go, like so. Dun, da, 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 da. That's really good. The first fly tying stream was a bit rough. Well, probably as rough as Hessian undies, but anyway. Right, so there we go. Now this is not finished. What I'm going to do here now, okay, is let's just have a look. I might even tie a bit of an olive mullet, I think, but we'll just stick with the traditional grey now. Okay, so we've got some grey super hair here, right, like so. This isn't going to get chewed by anything, right. Right, at least the hook's sharp, okay? All right, now what we're going to do is, one of the basics of your fly tying with your flies, right, is the top of your fly is always slightly darker or darker than the bottom of your fly. You have a lateral line and you have an eye as the focus point. So with the fish that we're going to be trying to fish for with this is going to be a light snack for them. Now see how I'm putting this head a bit closer towards the front of the fly? That's why I built up the front of the fly like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go backwards and forwards, just tapering this head in, right? Like so. Let me just build that around there. And what we've done is we've managed to tie a really nicely sort of robust head on this fly that's going to encourage the water to flow over the head of the fly and the eyes, which means it's going to move a lot of water. So when it moves a lot of water, it's going to leave a little bit of a bubble trail. Right, the hook's going to ride up so it doesn't get snagged. Let's finish this off properly. There we are in there. So let's just chuck that in there. And again, whoops. Okay, that's good. Ta-da. So what we've got here now. Hey there, Cyber Trouts. How are you, bud? Welcome to the stream, mate. And look, Cyber Trouts, if I upset you that time when I was banging on about the West Australian bag limits and minimal sizes, mate, sorry about that, bud. It's just that I'm quite passionate about conservation and protecting fish stocks for the future, mate. So I just thought I might have upset you, mate. I hope you don't take it personally, okay? All right. So what we have here now, okay, this is the start of our little fly tying adventure, okay? So what we've got here, okay, this is my copy of a little mullet that swims around in every single estuarine river up north, okay? Now they're slightly grey on top, they're pale underneath, and they have, usually when they turn side on, sometimes they have quite a reflective like side and, return. So with this, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry out. Now I haven't decided whether I'm going to put any epoxy on this, but we'll look at it. I'm going to tie some surf candies. But as you can see with this, right, what we've done is we've got a nice little fly. This is only about, I'd say, 2 to 3 inches long, right? Check that out. So that's only 2 to 3 inches long, right? And what we've got is we've got a nice angled head on the fly that's going to move a lot of water, right? And then as you can see with the eyes and that sort of stuff, okay, it's going to work quite well there. See, I'll just lift that up so you can see it. Sorry about this. Actually, I'll probably put it on the back of the hand. That'd be better, I think. There. Now, if you were to buy that from the shop, I've used enough material to tie about probably, I'd say, I don't know, 4 flies with the amount of material I've got on this one. You'll never ever get the same sort of quality when you buy them with the stuff that you tie yourself, right? So basically, the fish that's going to hit this is going to hit this side on, right? And it's just going to swallow it in its mouth. And the good thing about that is, because I've got the camera zoomed in so far, right? I should really just grab a little pair of pliers, I think. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Let's just drop that down. See? So that's a fairly good little fly. And the good thing about this is it's now Monday, right? We're going to tie these flies today. We'll finish them off with the epoxy probably tomorrow. Right. What did I change there? Let's get in there. Okay. Now, let's chuck this in here again. That way I've got my backing and I can actually see what I'm doing. White thread with a white backing is not a good idea. Right, let's go. I'm very surprised that we ended up in double figures, people. Thank you very much for your support. It's our first stream back, the first of many. Okay, and with the audio and the picture quality that we've got, I mean, yeah, I've really come a long way with the live streaming. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just tie another head on here, right, like that. Bring that in here, like so. Boop. Now, remember the cheat that we had? Here we go. Right, so just a little bit of this is flat wax nylon. It's 210 denier. So this is a special fly tying material that's actually tied out of nylon thread, but designed purely for tying flies, Subtract. So what this does is when it gets wet with either water or head cement, as we're doing in this case, it becomes translucent. So what will happen is when I coat the flies in epoxy later, it actually looks like a real fish, which is basically what we're trying to do. So, yeah, it's, I'll show you the thing in a minute. There we go. Try not to stick my fingers to the eyes like I did years ago. Right, so what the key to this is, right, you've got to figure out when your fly eyes are perpendicular to the hook, right? So what we're doing here is I'm just doing a crisscross, okay, like that. And sometimes you'll need to do a couple of winds this way, maybe 3 winds that way. So what you do is you just figure out over time how to get the fly, the eyes on the fly, you know, like perpendicular. I probably should put that way, right? Yep. And then what you do is, when you've got them embedded in with a nice amount of thread, okay, then what you do is you just wind to the front from the back. And what that does is that locks everything in behind the eyes, right? And then what you do is you go through, and then as you can see, we're just going to work to the eye of the hook, okay? What I want to do is, I'm just going to, when I'm tying this, I'm winding the first time all the way back to the eye, then all the way back to these lead eyes. Then I'm coming in about 2 millimeters and back, then 4 millimeters and back. And what that does, that creates a little tear there, right? As in T-I-E-R, right? Probably Subtract, probably. Now, as you can see, what I did is in here, because I've done the tapering of the the tapering of the thread. See how it's going up towards the eyes? So what this will mean is this means I'll be able to get that to taper in a lot easier than if I tried to tie it flat. Some people make the mistake of thinking that, you know, they got to cut materials and that sort of stuff to a certain shape and size, right, to bring everything, you know, down and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so there we go. What this does is this, bring that back, okay. So this will now loosen up. Let's bring this in here like so, like that. Once again at a bit of an angle. Right, lovely. So what we've got here is, we've got a beautifully formed little blank, as we call it, because we haven't tied the materials on. So this is what I'm going to do. Once again, I'm going to use some of this like carpet remnants, right? And I just want to give this fly a little bit of body underneath, because what will happen is when the fish swims underneath to check out the fly to see if it's worth eating, and look where we're going, people, we're going that far north, there's a good chance of catching mangrove jacks, right? So everybody knows that you've got to go a fair way up north to get mangrove jacks, right? And when we go out in the kayak and that, there's going to be a really good chance of catching some mulloway and lots of good fish, cod, all sorts of stuff. So let's just wind that in. Now the hardest thing with your fly tying is being able to get your thread so close together that it locks your materials in, right? So after lots of mistakes over the years, after a while you tend to get it. So what we've done is we've got a little bit there. I just want to give it a little bit more, okay? For some reason, just a little bit more like this. What that does is it just gives it a little bit of a little bit of a belly, right? So with that little bit of a belly, what that does, a lot of the mullet have sort of their bellies pop down a bit. Okay, so what will happen is with the artificial material that's straight, this will sag once it gets wet, so it just adds to the lifelike properties of the fly. Right, once again, I'm going to just bring that forward a little bit so that I can layer the materials on it again. Right, I'm just going to tie that little bit of thread in there. I'm just going to work my way back. I'm hoping these camisand hooks are strong enough for the fish we're going to take, because, or chase, because they are, if we do hook one, it's going to be quite a good effort to land them, okay? And the good thing about these is when they ride hook up like this, what it does, it always sticks into the roof of the fish's mouth or the corner of the fish's mouth, and you never have a headache for a quick release, you know? Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to get some of this super hair, right? Now, what have we got here? Let's just, okay, great. We've got some of it here. Rightio. Rightio. There we go, beautiful. So they're all roughly the same length. So what we'll do is we'll make this one a little bit smaller, right, just to tie in there. What I'll do, okay, it's like that. Bring that in there. I'm going to just bring this down probably a little bit closer to the eye than what I normally would, because I just want to change the shape of this again, right? So this one, we're just going to start from the back and then push it forward, right? That's a really nicely formed head there. And what that's going to do is that's going to make it easy for us, whoops, to put the other materials on there from there, okay? Right, now, what I want to do is get a little bit more of this rainbow crystal flash again. Right, like that. Like so. Bring that in here. This is going to be the lateral line. Basically, the lateral line separates the top and the bottom of the fish. Right, we're just going to try and keep this. I mean, you're never going to completely impersonate a live creature with artificial materials, but you can go fairly close, Right, so there we go. We've tied a really nicely tapered head. Now that's more of a sea juicer type head, I think, but that's okay, because what we want to try and do is we just want to try and encourage this to retrieve along the bottom, just flick up the odd bit of dust and that sort of stuff, and then away we go, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that out there. That's going to look like a bit more of a tail. Great. So that's the grey there. Beautiful. Let's try and get that down there. So what it is, when you start tying with this material, you always grab the longer threads, right? And then that way you just flick it out from there, and the smaller threads all fall down in a unison sides. Now see this, how I cut this, right, is how the head's going to form. So we'll just chuck that on top, once again roughly in the same spot like that. Bring that back a bit like so. Now that's going to be a really good shaped head there. You can just tell straight off, So what I want to do is I want to get this all nice and compact now. Right, we'll just bring that in there. We'll just get rid of all of that like crystal flash. Bring that in there. Right, like so. And what we've got is we've actually tied that so well that it's caused the materials to flare slightly, but I don't mind that, because when they get wet, they'll quickly work together. And that actually gives the fly a little bit of pulse and body in the water, which causes it to move water, because that's what you're really trying to do. You want it to move water, much like the the real live thing, okay? So let's bring that back. All right, that goes on there like so, and that's pretty tight. I can't see how the eye of the hook is moving. That's when you know you've tied them in properly, okay? Great, so what we've done now is we've given them good profile, right? The top of the fly is slightly darker than the bottom of the fly. We've got the clear lateral line in the middle, and we've got the yellow eyes, much like the real mullet, which is what you want. All right, so what we'll do is we try and get them fairly uniform, but I don't know whether you can see that on the head of that, but see how that's become translucent. Now, have I got that at the right height or not? No. Let's try that. Boom. Let's see if that's going to work. Bit higher. No, a bit higher again. I just want to get this in the correct field of vision. And again, there we go. See how it's become translucent on the head and looks almost lifelike? Right, that's what you're trying to achieve. And that's what the fish are going to see underwater, okay? So these are very basic flies. In terms of fly tying and that sort of stuff, they're not overly difficult, but they're very, very good fish catching flies. And on top of that, what they do is it allows you to basically fish an area, and if there are fish around, because they are fairly lifelike in their action and they tend to go along the bottom, right, they will let you know that they're there. So these are just a variation of the Clouser minnow, which is invented by Bob Clouser. He was the first angler to ever figure out that you could put eyes on a hook to make the hook flip over, and then that way what that does, it allows you to fish snag areas snag free, right? And the other thing we're going to do too is we're going to tie a few poppers. I've got a few deceivers in here that I've already tied from a long time ago. Right, like these are very good. That's a beautiful little fly. Right, so that's a beautiful little fly with the epoxy head. See that? Right. So that's what we're doing. We just put the epoxy head on it. Right, just looks like a little bait fish, but what I might do is cut the pink feather out of there. For some reason, in the old days, pink things and that sort of stuff work really well for barra, but when you try and put them on the other stuff, you know, it just tends to sort of not really work that well. Here's another one that's just in the traditional all white deceiver. Right, and most of the flies that I tie, I always put red heads on them. For some reason, it's like the old, you know, RH from Rapala, the red head. Okay, now, let's get into here. What do we got there? Shrimp. Oops. Now, oh, I better get the eyes on here before they dry out, eh? So what we do now is like that. Whoops. Don't be doing that. Come on. Calm down, eyes. Right, we've got the eyes in there, like so. Bring that in there, like so. And what we've done is we've locked the eyes in on this fly. I'm just going to take the thread back as close as I can to the eyes, right, from the front to the back. Come in about 2 millimeters from the eye, come back again, come back to about 4 millimeters, come back again, and what we've done is we've laid the foundations for a really nice little fly. The good thing about this fly too is if we're going to tie this today, right, and we'll finish him off tomorrow, by the time we get to the spot that we're going to on Saturday, all the xylene would have evaporated and all the odour would have gone out of the flies, okay? Wonder how... no, it's just basically the type of action that I'm trying to get the fly to mimic in the water subtract. So basically, the closer the eyes to the actual lead eyes to the eye of the fly. Now, just to give you an idea, I'll show you the other two flies, right? That's actually, if we look at the distance there, that's pretty well spot on subtract. See, look, to within the millimetre. Look at that. It's not bad for an old bloke with failing eyesight. Check that out, see? And then that one there is the other one that we tied. Dun-da-da. See how they're exactly the same length? Have no idea how I fluked that. Oh, the redhead one's in the box. Yes. Now, that's a different type of fly configuration subtract. With the redhead ones in the box, that's actually a totally different head. With that, I've actually painted the eyes on that. Right. Sorry about my misinterpretation of what you're trying to say there. So if you have a look at this, right, what I'll do is I'll come around here. Oh, the rain. Right, so see this is actually, see how this is being painted on. So check that out. See how that's been painted on by me, and I've used the prism eye. See, look, that's actually how I've tied the head. And what I've done is I've just put epoxy on it. So what I did is I tied the round head on it, right? And then that way, basically, when it goes in the water, it's going to come up fairly flat, see? And that's just 5-minute araldite on top of it. I should have used the 5-minute Loctite because it's clear, you know? So for some reason, I don't know, like over the years, a lot of the flies that I've tied with red heads seem to have had more success than the ones that I haven't. I especially find that with brim fishing, because on brim fishing I tie very basic flies. Just make sure that we've got the eye, the red head, and all the rest of the stuff, and they come up trumps. You know what I'm saying? So now let's get some more of this. I'll need a bigger clump this time. Right. So once again, we're just going to use a little bit of this carpet offcut, right? Like that, just to give it a little bit of body. And like I said, when this absorbs water, it'll give it almost like a belly-like appearance, right? We'll just bring that down. Now see how that's already making a beautifully tapered head, because we got the thread at the correct angle. All right, we'll bring that in there nicely, like so. Oh yeah, they do. That's because they're old, mate. Yeah, like I said, I used Selly's Araldite, which goes yellow. The Loctite 5-minute Araldite actually goes clear. So that's just a bit of a rookie mistake, but I didn't have any of the Loctite stuff when I tied those ones. All right, so we've got the little eyes on here now. We're just going to use a little bit of head cement. So basically, all head cement is xylene with a glue in it at the rate of about 5% per volume. I was thought about trying to tie, or like use, you know, the what do you call it? About trying to use the Loctite super glue in there, but I thought no, it'd just might still stick, you know. Right, there we go. That's a good size there. Yes, mate. Normally, a blind mullet has a totally different connotation than subtract. You know, like I went fishing down at the beach and caught a salmon, and I left a blind mullet in the dunes. Bit of Aussie humour there for everyone that's not from Australia. Beautiful. Let's just form that head. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Great. Okay, so that's come in quite well. Right, let's just snip that little bit of fur off, but we'll get it on the next one. Right, if you're new to the stream, welcome. My name's Jim. This is Australis TV. This is the sister channel to Australis Fishing on YouTube. We also have Twitch channels named Australis Fishing and Australis TV as well. So if you're new to the stream, please leave a subscription, free subscription on YouTube, and following's free on Twitch as well, all right? Now, let's go here. There we go. So once again, what we've done is we've done the pale underbelly of the fly, right? And then what we'll do is we'll bring that in here. We've formed some really nicely shaped heads on here, people. It's been very good so far. Hope I've clamped this down enough. Right, and again, like so. Great. Now what we've done is we've got our little bit of like body under there. We've got our white super hair, and then we've got our rainbow crystal flash. Okay, now what we'll do is this. These are very basic flies, people. You know, these are just nice and simple size 1 clouses in the mullet configuration, yellow eyes with black pupils, right? And, you know, just a really nice simple fly that's easy to tie, and they're also really easy to fish with as well. Now, what colour is that? Is that grey or white? Now, that's white. Or is that grey? Oh, why is it buggered? No, they're both white. That one's grey. Right, I've got some of the grey here like that. There's a couple of the longer fibres. That's going to sit really nicely on there, like so. Now this is going to be the final one. What I want to do is I just want to bring this in here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some of the fibres and just gently thin out this head as we go to the back of the eyes, like so. Right. And what this is going to do, if you want to tie flies quick, oh, that's not good. Let me see if I can save this. I think I can. Yeah, we should be able to. This is going to track nice and straight in the water. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. You know you're doing something right. Subtract. Hopefully I need a lot of them because it means the fish have been smashing your flies. But I've got a, oh God, I did it again. I've got a box of clouses over here that I've already tied. I'll show you. Let me just let that get in there for a second. Right, so these are our, this is a box of clouse minnows here in various configurations. These, I've got whites with pink heads, some with no eyes at all, green back, blue back, you know what I mean, sparkle back, all sorts of stuff, mate. Clouse minnows are one of my favourite saltwater flies because they're so easy to tie, and you can knock them up pretty quickly even if you're out in the field as well. Okay. And then I did tie some like squid flies as well. Right, but with the squid flies, oh, here we go. Here are some crazy Charlies that I tied. Not crazy Charlies. Yeah, obviously, yeah, good point, Loie. You've got to allow for the resistance and that, but this is a little surf candy that I tied with the blue back on it. Okay, see how that's gone yellow in the front, but that's not going to hurt it. Right, so see that? That looks exactly like a little fish, see? Right, so that's the other type of fly that we use as well. But you've got to make sure that you've got the right sized fly for the type of rod and reel that you're using. I mean, I've got heaps of others that I've tied as well. Right, there's the little red devil that I've tied with the eyes on it. Okay, that sits in the water like that. Right, so little flies like that make. Depends, subtract. Depends on the materials that you use. Like, for example, these flies are virtually bulletproof because they're with artificial material. Right, that's virtually like quite tough plastic. So if I had a tailor that came up and tried to swath one of these flies down, I'd probably get a couple of you know, tries out of it. But if I had this with feathers and a tailor come up, it'd bite it off at the back of the head, and you'd have to like retie the fly. They're quite brutal, Taylor. They have very impressive molars on them, even as a small fish, you know. So, and look, people, thank you very, very much. So happy that we're in double figures of viewers with our fly tying streams on YouTube. We're not even fishing. There we go. Right, there we are. So what we have now is we've got various flies in various denominations, right? We've got some absolutely, oh, thanks, Cyber Trouts. Good to see you too, mate. I hope you're having a good time over there and it's not too wet for you like here. We're actually getting our proper winter rains now. So, and I mean, if you have a look at this fly, right? So if I put that on the back of the fly, you'll see how clear the heads come up and see how basically it looks like it's part of the fly. So what'll happen is in the water, that'll all stick together and it'll become virtually the same, right? So it'll look like a fly or a fish with a you know, the head on it. And yeah, it's just these are really good. I really enjoy tying flies. Hey Richie, how are you, bud? What's going on, Richie? You behaving? So yeah, we're just starting our YouTube live streaming journey again, Richie. Right, what we might do, what's the time? Yeah, we'll do one more. It doesn't hurt to get another fly out the way. So, I like these camisand hooks. With these camisand hooks, they are very good quality, made in Japan, okay? And they can hold a good sized fish for the gauge. And because they've got such a thin diameter, what they'll do is the points on the hooks, as my finger just found out, will penetrate straight away. Oh, yes, mate. Thanks, Richie. Now, what I might do, people, now Loey made a really good point before. Now, we're doing a giveaway with the Gleam website, right? The first giveaway has already been sorted, and our lucky winner, who's a uni student, he won a $25 US giveaway, but because he's at uni and he's a struggling student, I doubled his prize because I'm all for people that better themselves with education. So that became a $50 US prize, right? So what we'll do is we'll just get some of this in, right? Like so. Hey Richie, we've got a week of hardcore streaming coming up, bud, in some pretty good conditions, right? It'll be kayak and beach fishing, and we're probably going to do some cliff fishing as well, okay? So I've got to figure that out. And all right, let's just get this eye set in now. And the biggest problem is too, when you're fishing with lead eyes and that sort of stuff, right? If you smash the lead eyes on a rock or a jetty, you'll blow them clean off the hooks. Oh, nice one, Richard. Well done, bud. Well, it's your summer over there, so you need to get out, otherwise you won't get a chance, will you? Rightio, so let's bring this in here now. Right, so we're going to lock these eyes in at the front. Sorry, at the back. Depends whether we get anything up there subtract like that, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully not, don't take it the wrong way. But we've actually fluked the weather. We've got perfect conditions for the first 4 days. Just hoping it stays like that, you know. There we are. Lovely. That's the best one we've done so far. All right, what I'm going to do is, while this is drying, okay, I'm going to go and... oh, yeah, you get serious cold over there, Richie, not like we have here, mate. Our cold is like your summer's day here, mate. We're just starting to get that bitey cold, you know, where you take your long sleeve off and it feels like you're getting bitten by a dog from the cold. Right, now, let's chuck that in there. Right. Ta-da. Oh, I'll just half hitch that, shall I? Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that to dry for a minute, and then what we'll do is we'll do one more fly. Right. I'll just give it a little bit of time to set. Just excuse me. Never too cold to drink beer. Oh, yeah, something like that subtract. Oh, nice one, mate. I always find it interesting how you can catch the mackerel on feathers, you know. All right, now, I'm pretty sure my, so let's go to stream elements. All right, stream elements, yep, great. Log in on YouTube, thank you. That'll do. Yes, that's the one. Now I'm pretty sure stream elements. Yes, I know that. Let's go to chatbot, chat commands. Right, ask the magic 8-ball. What? Anyway, let's just leave that for a second. Okay, go to chat. Sorry about this, people. Loey brought up a really good suggestion about building our community. Okay, so let's go copy. Right, there. So custom commands. Let's get rid of that. Yes, delete that. Add new command. Right. Give. Now let's test whether it works. Oh, have you? Make sure you let them go, bud. You don't want to have none for next year. All right, so I haven't modded stream elements, obviously. Let's go again. Right, let's go to Streamlabs now. Sorry about this, people. Log in with YouTube, thank you, yep. Oh, look, I don't care, Streamlabs. Don't worry about that. All right, let's go to CloudBot, commands, custom. I logged in with YouTube, not Twitch. What is going on with this? YouTube, thank you. Reload, thank you. I can't believe Streamlabs is so Twitch focused and biased. Yep, knew it. Oh dear. Let's get rid of that. Right. So let's go. Oops. Sorry about this interruption, people. Paste, confirm. What? Shane, how are you, bud? Oh, that's how it goes, doesn't it? Yeah, good idea, Loey. People, please enter our free giveaway by just clicking on that link there, okay? Okay, we don't want your money. Culpable, how are you, bud? Yes, Culpable. Culpable is the unofficial masseuse for the Swedish female beach volleyball team. It's just that they don't know it, that's all. All right, so please enter our giveaway by clicking on that link there. Okay, we don't want your money, we just want your support, people. We just want to get more just want to get more subscribers on YouTube and also improve our overall footprint across all social media. So, all good. Thank you very much for everyone that's given up their valuable time to come in and watch the stream tonight. We're just doing some preparation stuff. I'm going to show everyone how to pack for a trip and what to take on the trip. And then when we're doing the trip, I'm going to show you some tips on what to be aware of when you're going long distances. So our trip's going to be about 1,000 kilometres from where I am. Okay. And yeah, all good fun. So we've got the trailer. I can honestly say that we've got one of the most professional setups for this sort of thing now. Okay. How it's all sorted with the kayak and our streaming equipment. Fantastic, right? And of course I've got glue on my fingers so I can't get this out. Right, so what we have now, great, that's better. Okay, lovely. Let's get that out of there. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, beautiful. Right, we're going to give that a little bit of body. Right, that's actually quite a generous amount there for what we're trying to achieve. Boom. Right, we bring that here like that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Bring that down. How are you, Culp? Thanks very much to the mods that have come in to support the stream tonight. I'm actually surprised we got into double figures. So, thank you very, very much, people. All right, now, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and do 3 to 5 streams on YouTube a week and 3 to 5 streams on Twitch a week, people. Right, so we are partnered on YouTube. We were partnered on Twitch. Mind you, I got the letter or the email. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's not be cheeky. Nope, don't try and guess it. It could be Subtract. It might not, though. You'll have to tune into the stream and find out. Hey? Now, me personally, I would find that really annoying. Okay? Okay. Now. Beautiful. So we've got the little white belly already tied in. We've got the bottom section of the fly. Now what we have here is we're just going to put some more of this rainbow crystal flash in here. Let me just get some of this longer stuff here. Right. Yeah, put it this way. Tomorrow I'm getting the clutch, the timing belt and the water pump done on my car in preparation for this trip. I was going to do it when I got back, but, you know, I just thought, hey, it wasn't sort of really feeling the same. And, you know, thankfully I've got a really good mechanic. And, you know, I just don't want to leave anything to chance. And if you're going to belt around on the beach and that sort of stuff, you want to make sure that, you know, you got some adjustment in the old clutch, you know what I'm saying? So the car's done 260,000 K, so it's due for a new one. Late last year, I actually replaced the radiator and replaced every single coolant hose in it. So all good. Now, let's have a look at this. Have we got any that we've... So, oh, well, that's right, Culpable. Oh, it might be Subtract. It might be. It might not be. Like I said, you'll have to watch the stream. What I'm going to do now is see how I've got the head of the bobbin holder really close to the fly. That's right, Lowy, Coolgardie. And the only fishing we'll be doing is in the front bar. Why not? You can catch anything when you've had the drink, mate. Marlin, tuna the whole lot. You don't even have to leave the bar. It's a great phenomenon in Australia. Rightio. Use no, Coolgardie's a town, culpable. Out near Southern Cross. It's between Southern Cross and Kalgoorlie. Beautiful town. It was designed for horse and cart years ago. Now, see this here? This is a little bit of a pain. So, what I've got here is a flame. So then we get this, like that. Ta-da! That's cleaned up the eye of the hook beautifully. See? There you go. Hey, I don't want to annoy the the camels that walk down this main street. Okay. So, in 1 hour, right, of just mucking around, right, we've tied 4 flies. And I mean, obviously with that, you know, I've been, yeah, I don't know whether the camels were female culpable. You'd have to lift up their tail and have a look. Like Manuel and the donkey from Kevin Bloody Wilson. You lift up at the tail and you look up at the address, you know. Legend. All right, so what we have here now, the camel had 2 humps, yes. Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble on this trip with you, Loey. You're just going to say something that's going to trigger the head off and the valve's going to disappear and the mouth is just going to blurt it out. Culpable, you always have to go there, don't you? Okay? Yeah, they've got 4 camel toes, Culp. All right, people, so this is what we've done. As a collective community, what we've done is we have achieved this in the last hour. We have made 4 little flies, right, that look like a little school of fish. There we go. See, look at that. All fairly even, right, like so. There we are. We'll just stand them up on the eyes. Bump-ba-dum-ba-da. Now remember, we didn't measure anything, right? We didn't measure anything, but see how they're all fairly uniform? That's not bad for an old boy with failing eyesight, isn't it? It's my standard catchphrase now. Check that out. Whoops, I had to bump it, didn't I? So we just wanted to make 4 that were fairly similar. See, look at that. No, Loey, you'll be having enough problems running away from the cougars. Okay, those, you know. There you go, see? So what we've done is we've tied 4 fairly identical flies, slight variations in the head for different fishing conditions, but I'll explain that later. But they're beautiful little flies, all right? That's all we need to do there. They're ready to rock. I don't need to worry about anything else, okay? So if you were to buy those, you'd probably spend about 12 to 15 bucks each, but they wouldn't be as well tied as these. And see how they're fairly uniform with their heads and their lengths and all that sort of stuff? So the fish that we're going to chasing will just engulf these anyway, which is the whole plan. I've got a few other flies that I've tied. That's a little fly that I've tied for fish in a local southwest river. Right, now what we'll do now is... Okay, let's zoom back out. Lovely. All right. Now, thank you very, very much for tuning in. I really appreciate the fact that everyone's given up their time to come in and watch the stream tonight. This is just a little bit of a test Did you, Manzi? How are you, bud? Welcome to the stream, mate. Yes, I think we lost our thermometer too, Manzi, because it fell through the floor down here. All right, so basically what we've done is we've tied some beautiful little flies there, right? And I think if I could figure out I know how to put them on the same line. They'd look like a little school of fish. Right, so they're in there. Okay, all roughly the same length. Slightly different thicknesses and tapers with the heads, but more about that later. Quite keen on casting them around, people. So hopefully where we're fishing has got the fish there that I'm hoping. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover my hooks up. I've got so many fly tying materials here to work. All right, people. Now, a big thank you to everyone that's given up their time to watch the stream tonight. What we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to do some more fly tying. We're going to do little variations. I'm just going to do about, 6 flies of each. They look good. They're going to work really well where we're going, especially on a sandy bottom. We may even have a good chance of a big flathead too, because the odd time that you do catch a flathead where we're going, in the waterways, it's usually a monster, okay? So, yeah, look, thanks for tuning in, and I really look forward to catching up with you next time, right? Healthy. Oh, yeah, culpable, it's winter, saving up for winter. All right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Really appreciate the fact that we reached double figures on our first stream back. Hope you enjoyed the fly tying. Yeah, well, Loey, I think we've got a rooster. Because I heard one trying to crow this morning, but I don't think it's, its spurs have dropped, if that makes sense. Okay? So, yeah. And the funny thing is, right, I hear this like, I turn around and they're like, wasn't me. They're all looking at each other like they're playing poker. And I went, right, you lot. Turned around again. I hear this, I turn around and go, and they're all like this. Wasn't me. You know what I mean? So, all right, people. Have a good one. Thanks very much for tuning in.